Hi friends, this is Mangalaprathaban talking about accelerate your talent enrichment process. Why should you worry about talent enrichment? How do we accelerate talent enrichment? Talent building and talent mapping are two important uh, domains that we always talk about. Most of us who have clarity of what we want to achieve in life, we do understand how to make things work for ourselves. We get the idea or plan from our experts or peers and seek the guidance of the finest trainers available. And then talent acceleration happens automatically if ever we are enthusiastic enough to invest our time and mind in it. And remember, it is all about working on a specific task with complete, uh, you know, alacrity and mindfulness. Yes, when you are ready to work on your talent building, remember your talent building happens phase by phase. In other words, a kind of a very systematic process of actualizing micro dots of your talents one by one. In other words, I would say micro talent enrichment. That happens only when you keep working on every small task with little more self-awareness, a little bit of alacrity, enthusiasm. And of course, you need to get this support of people who are analytical and critical and tell you what to do, what not to do, how to do, how not to do, etc. See, there are occasions where we might go wrong somewhere. So somebody has to identify the dot which is not working. In other words, I'm talking about a specific micro area or nano area that you require further attention. So pay attention on every aspect of your talent building. And when you look at your talent building process, you can accelerate your talents provided you are, you know, you're somebody who watches over how others have built their micro talents over a period of time and what's happening with your talent enrichment process. Be an observer of your own self and ask the finest assessors or, you know, or assessment professionals in corporates to identify how to make things work for you. See, there are occasions where corporate trainers who are into assessment could possibly tell you what ought to be done or what aspect or which aspect has to be modified or altered. It could be psychological or social, or it could be all about professional domain. But remember, uh, working on specific nano talents with clarity and precision matters a lot. And most of us are worried about the end result of what we have done or what we're doing. Please, you concentrate on every aspect of your talent enrichment process. First, work on your talent enrichment. Then work on accelerating your talent enrichment process. Don't baffle and confuse both these. No, I would always say first work on your talent enrichment by looking at some simple and easy ways of enlisting each of your micro talents. Number one. Number two, working on micro strategies of enriching them. Number three, getting the support of experts who are super specialists in each of these micro areas. Number four, take time to actualize it. Review your performance, seek the guidance and support. Have a critical look at your own performance and have a talent mapping done. And whenever you do a talent mapping, review it or retrospect it and see, is there anything that you can maximize there? If you can maximize your talents, you are free to enrich the process with, uh, you know, very clear task orientation. It could be all about practice. For example, voice coaches whom I train, some of them would love to get their voices free from all sorts of noises. That's because of their obsession with the quality of their voice. See, how are we going to achieve it? We achieve it only when there is a very specific recording process done on every aspect of your voice. For example, when you cry, what happens? Or when you speak aloud, what happens? When you try to emphasize something, what happens? Or when you are trying to, pacify somebody or counsel somebody, what happens to your voice? You need to keep an eye on how things emulate or enhance or change or undergo a transition over a period of time, and then see, is there anything that you can do about it? Or is there anybody who's doing better than you? Look at that person as a role model and see whether that would possibly work for you. So in a way, you have to have specific game changers, right? And that is going to change the way you think and act in real time task orientation or task actualization. And I would say talent enrichment can happen freely, provided we are looking at ourselves as participants in making things a little more collaborative and cooperative. See, it is all about a game plan of a team, because your talents are related with the talents of everybody else in your team. Please understand, you don't exist all alone in this world, right? Even when I make this podcast, please remember, it's not just me. It's also about the sound engineer who works in the podcast platforms. And it's also about the other people who work to make things work, to make things effective, successful. It's also about the technologists who work, in each of these platforms, who do a little more appropriate adjustments here and there to make me sound better. But this is what is going to happen with every process. So you have to make it a point to think about how to enrich your talent, and then you need to really work on how to accelerate that enrichment process. Unless you work on the nanodots and microdots of your talent enrichment process, you can't accelerate them. It's of no use if you do mindless acceleration. It's also about creating a roadmap in a very systematic fashion by observing our own performance, having clear analytics of what we have done, how we are doing, what type of changes have we incorporated, is there anything that we can do in order to make things slightly better. So that sort of a reflection or retrospection could possibly help you to accelerate your talent enrichment process. Another way I would always say is consulting an expert. I have, for example, tried to make people speak better with precision and exactitude, and they have mastered the sound patterns of the language, stress patterns of the language, intonation patterns of the language. They understand the cross-cultural awareness of the native speakers, and there are several native speakers conversations, negotiations which happen, and then I try to empower these non-native speakers to have clarity on how to really engage them, how to participate in a fruitful manner while collaborating with them. And at the same time, you could also think in terms of making things work for yourself by looking at the context in which you work. See, any talent enrichment is context specific, number one. Number two, it is not just customized, it is also to do with how you make things easier for everybody else. So make it a point to have a clear mapping done if there is any challenge or lacuna, and work hard, try to make things easier for you. And I'm sure most of us who found this quite audible or quite discordant, please don't worry about it. Think in terms of making your own talents work for you with the support and counseling of professionals who could educate you and enrich you on how to make things easier for you, how to make things better for you, how to have a game plan to enrich every micro dots and nano dots of your talents, right? With that, I'm going to wind up this session. If you have any questions, you're free to ask me. I'm there to support you. And if you want to really get to know more about me, visit me at www.poetmangalaprathaban.blogspot.com. That is www.poetmangalaprathaban.blogspot.com. You can also visit me at www.fluencycenter.org. That is www.fluencycenter.org. Wish you all success. Have a great